Good morning, everyone. Ramble time. I just woke up, as you can tell from the now beyond Wolverine stage hair, and my good friend Brian, he Badger now, he sent me messages that the White House was stormed. At, they didn't make it in yet, but it was protested at, and there was tear gas involved, and there was damage to a nearby historic church. But as of today, no one has stormed the White House all the way. But yeah, lots of cop cars on fire again. Big riots over racial injustice going on all over the country. No talk about how these protesters might be spreading coronavirus amongst themselves, and definitely we forgot about murder hornets. So yeah, the news cycle has moved on, I guess, after a good 2 month stop on coronavirus, which I gotta say, I'm actually relieved to read news that is not about coronavirus and is about something else very important. You know, it's actually a breath of fresh air to see, oh, people are rioting, which is really, really strange in a way, but life moves on. In order to get through the month with the amount of videos I decided I wanted to put to this channel, I got through the month of May by putting 3 videos of excerpts from the Breakfast Club. They were all from like the 10th Jamboree video over there, but basically it's just points where I was talking in the videos, and I should have done that for all the different Jamboree videos just to let you guys know that I was over there for hours talking, but you know, I've had a lot to do. I have a lot on my plate today, and I did want to rush out a few videos that I've had cooking, a few ideas that I wanted to ponder more, and I just decided, you know what, I don't want to not do them justice by rushing them. So one, I can't find the words to really go deep on this concept, so I'll just say it. About a week ago, I made a video about the VA hydrochloroquine study that Trump denounced as being biased because it disagreed with what he was saying. And I didn't cover this aspect of it while I covered that study, but I had a bit of time to think about it, and I think that studies like that done on veterans are in a way very exploitative of the culture of veterans, in that this is a group of people who chose to risk their lives for the country, and then all of a sudden a pandemic breaks out and researchers race to the VA hospitals because they know that there's a really good set of information there to be gathered, and so they come up with release forms for, okay, do you agree that we could have all of this data from your health records, win, lose, or draw, should you die or not? And I, like many other veterans, have actually signed paperwork saying that they can have my medical records in full in order to do studies on large swaths of people, right? The data gets anonymized, it's aggregated. I mean, there's, you know, hundreds of thousands of veterans' records that they can go through. But I found that letter in my mail, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I will opt in, just so that they don't have to worry about at the last minute getting me to sign a release, with informed consent, saying, "Hey, we'd like to know if this thing's going to kill you, and this new thing that just came up, and we want to follow your journey for the next 2 weeks." And yeah, in that moment, for those veterans who hadn't had a blanket release of their medical records, for those that just like the researchers know that their study is specific, so every patient that comes in with coronavirus has a special release form that they are asked to sign, saying, this is for the good of the American people. This information that we want to find out will help save a whole bunch of other lives. And it's like, of course they're going to sign it. They're veterans, and many of them disabled vets who wish that they could have served their country more. And you're giving them the chance to serve their country one last time. For some of them, one last time. Like last time. This is the last thing they did, was add to our body of knowledge about the coronavirus, if in fact they died, which many of them did. And so, yeah, it seems a little exploitative. But that's about as deep as I can get with it, There's no study on how exploitative asking veterans to participate in these studies is. And it's really a hard construct to pin down, It's a hard concept to really figure out how you would explore that effect. I do have another larger deep dive into the world of academia and research planned. It has to do with N95 masks and carbon dioxide. Because one of the reasons why people say that they don't want to wear N95 masks or wear masks in general is they say that they're rebreathing in their own carbon dioxide, which is not good for your health. And so, of course, these masks have been around with healthcare workers for years now, and nobody's been making these complaints. But all of a sudden, when it's political, they're willing to explore the concept, right? So, I went on a hunt for has there actually been research done on wearing masks, and protective respirators, and I found over 700 studies that had already been done on this, some of them just for the efficacy of N95 masks, but all the way through, like, can we fit these for children? And one in particular was actually about CO2. And largely what I'm finding is that the idea has no merit, but there is no study based on forcing human beings to use N95 masks beyond 8 hours. Now, if you look at the box of N95 masks, it says how many hours you should use it before you throw it away, right on the side of the box, right? And hospitals have now been, because they have a shortage of these masks, they've been telling people to use them for longer than is appropriate. And they have also been using machines that clean the masks, special machines. Denver now has 2 of those machines. And, they do it with blowing them out and also hitting them with intense ultraviolet light to really sterilize the masks. But the reason why this is important is because the filters on these masks, the microscopic holes that are in the masks that allow air to go through, they get plugged up, right? And Misty and I had some N95 masks just laying around the house because we had them for the purpose of woodworking out on the patio. And so when the coronavirus hit, we went and grabbed the last masks that we used instead of, the couple new ones that we also had. But just like a little bit of use on these masks, and we could still smell the woodworking inside the masks. Like, oh my God, this mask's already been used. There's already a lot of dust caught in it, And, that's okay for just going into 7-Eleven to get some coffee creamer and then, going home. But for, an extended shopping in the grocery store or, multiple extended shopping trips to the grocery store, those masks are only rated for a certain number of hours, and then you're supposed to throw them away, right? And if they're already plugged up, then maybe there is something to the effects of using a plugged up mask that is basically beyond its usable life. And I have not found any studies on that probably because it would be unethical to basically choke people, restrict their airflow for an extended number of hours, and then try to study the effects on what it did to them. That would be really dangerous. So, yeah. When people talk about masks that aren't N95, that don't have filters put in them, just regular cloth face masks, it is complete bunk to think that that's going to make you rebreathe CO2. That's the kind of masks that are like homemade with just not even really good material for filtration. Those masks have no risk of what I'm talking about whatsoever. But I've experienced it myself that an N95 mask does have sort of a shelf life to it. So seems like the video size limit has been reached on my phone, so I will cut off this ramble. I'll talk to you guys later.